Hello and welcome everyone to the first ever Average Video Gamer podcast. With me, my name is Max. We have over to my left, or my right, I guess I technically would say, is Colin. And below us, you have my brother Matt. And we are just three average video gamers here to talk about what's going on in the industry, our thoughts and feelings about certain video games, what we're playing, and just what it means to be an average gamer in today's climate and video games. I'll start us off just so we can get some of the little wrinkles out. But like I said, my name is Max. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember, since my older brother had a console from our grandparents. Some of my favorite games include Gears of War, The Legend of Zelda, and Final Fantasy VII. Mostly just any Final Fantasy, but very specifically 7. And we'll pass it over to Matt and see where he's at. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's good, gang? I'm the oldest of the bunch, 41. Been playing video games since I was a little tiny tyke on NES, playing Super Mario with my grandmother. It was frowned upon kind of as a thing. We didn't play video games much, so it was a cool experience, good memory, core memories there, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Expanded from there. I've always been a console guy, still a console guy. Dabbling in the PC world finally after much pressure. So we'll get to that at some point. Yeah, some pressure put into that, but happy for the change there.
Nice.
Just average dad gamer, dude.
Hell yeah. All right. And like I said, over to my right, or technically my left, we have Colin.
To your right.
Well, he's on my left.
I'm the same as these two, just grew up with video games. I would say I'm more of a retro kind of guy. I started off with like the Commodore 64 and some DOS gaming. So I guess camera's blurry. So I kind of skew towards PC gaming more. So, but yeah, I do love classic Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, things like that. And but I would say my favorite game series is probably Silent Hill.
Nice.
So totally different than retro, but
well, I mean,
PlayStation 2 is retro now.
It is retro.
It is retro, yeah.
Colin, I love how we've warmed up for this for like an hour, and your camera's been perfect.
I know.
Perfect the entire time.
Now it
it got stage fright. It's okay.
Yeah, but it did. It got a little stage fright.
But yeah,
me right now.
Like I was saying, guys, like we're just your average video gamers. So basically, I really wanted to start this podcast with a couple buddies and my brother, obviously, but to really talk about, I listen to a lot of video game podcasts, a lot of news podcasts in the gaming world. And I'm really starting it for the people who also are like that, who listen to video game podcasts on a regular basis, or who watch IGN on YouTube or look at their reviews consistently and see video games that they're giving like 6 and 7s, but then you hear all around the internet that these games are great. You should buy it, but can you really justify buying a game that's 70 or $80 when you have these people who a lot of people are like, oh, it's IGN, it's kind of funny. Nothing against those guys. I love watching them. I listen to them daily, honestly. But this is more for your on boots on the ground kind of video games of what your average gamer thinks of real video games that we're playing. We're not getting video games for free. We are paying hard-earned money and cash for it. So like this is our 2 cents on certain games, but also it has to do with like a whole bunch of other segments that we'll get into later. But, I really just kind of want to talk back and forth with these guys for a little bit about, our background in gaming and maybe some core memories that we had. Like I have several with Matt because, like I said, he's my older brother. I have memories, very heavy memories. The LAN parties at our grandmother's house, having 2 OG Xboxes set up with 8 people in the house, playing just Halo night after night, or sitting there with my cousins playing Super Smash Brothers on the N64 007 GoldenEye. And just really getting into like what makes gamers and what makes us the different types of gamers that we are today. You know, there's gonna be a lot of process. There's a like I said, this is the first ever episode, so there's gonna be a couple hiccups, but we're gonna work through it. Be patient. Help us. Give us comments, any concerns, or things that you may think help better the podcast in the long run. But let's start with Colin because you said that your favorite franchise is Silent Hill. Uh, I actually recently, well, I guess it wasn't recently, but you and I got to go through the first Silent Hill together, and I know I remember playing it, and I remember one very specific moment. This is going to be one of those moments that will forever live with me. Is we're sitting there in your living room with friends and family, and we're looking at this stupid puzzle that's just this little box. You got to turn it, and it's just a gate. It's a three-way gate. It just opens, and I sat there and I messed with it for like 2 seconds, and then I went, "Oh!" and I just opened it, and everyone just stared at me or just like what the heck, man. It was the best. But tell us like why Silent Hill is your favorite game franchise.
Gosh. I've always been like into horror stuff. Well, not I guess not always, but majority of time. It's just I'm fascinated by the psychological aspects of it. Like I started with two, which is like really, I think, masterfully written, and it led down that rabbit hole of like going through wanting to do more psychological horrors. I started writing short stories and stuff because of it.
Ah, all right, cool.
But those are lost to time, I would say.
No
But
secret journals in the closet that you might still
I'm
have
sure
around.
I could probably find some docs on my computer
Ooh.
still. But
Going back.
yeah, like it led me like into it like infected my game development. There's a lot of just like spooky twist and stuff in my games. But yeah, something about it, just like the surrealness, the weirdness, just the people like to throw Lynchian in with that, or David Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. It's just like I love the puzzles, I love the characters, just everything. It's
Hell yeah.
it's
I know.
probably the same way you feel about Resident Evil.
Yeah, definitely. Uh I will say I'm very excited for the new one that's coming out that's in Scotland. What's it called? Silent
It's
Hill
Townfall.
Townfall, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't it's such a simple name. I think that's why I keep forgetting it. Like it was like, oh, new Silent Hill, but I can remember Silent Hill F like it's nothing. That's crazy. But like I'm very glad that I got to share that with you and like experience that because it was really nice seeing it through someone else's eyes, even though like I was playing it. Like it was really nice to understand, like, because you, like you just said, like you see it the same way I look at Resident Evil. Like there's just a fondness of just like I was immediately teleported playing that with you in the living room of like being a kid and just being with friends again, just sitting in front of a big TV trying to figure out what to do next. Like it was just great. Like I think I mean y'all could probably disagree or agree with me. I think y'all will probably agree with me though that as much as I love online gaming, as much as I love the way video games have developed and changed over the past 25 years, which is crazy to say.
That is
Of
crazy.
right, like
Longer than that for me. I mean, like that's
think about it. Think about how long Halo was ago.
dude before Halo. Like I remember, you remember the windowsill I had in my room at Maul's house, right?
Yeah.
I remember sitting in there with that little TV. It was like a 20-inch TV at best, playing Spyro on Sega Genesis. Dude, that was my jam. Like when you were a baby, man, that was my like. I'm just gonna
I
get at it.
remember I have some of the fondest memories of do you remember the Sega handheld that we had? Oh,
Yes.
whatever. Like the biggest, chunkiest, it looked like a Steam Deck. Was
It
not a
weighs like
Steam.
30 pounds.
The
Yeah,
game.
yeah, the Game Gear. I have very specific memories of playing the Jurassic Park game on
Oh
that.
yeah.
Like, and that's like I didn't realize until I got a little bit older and I realized there was a Jurassic Park on the SNES. There was a Jurassic Park on the NES, and it's all basically the same game. That's when I really started learning. Like, oh, like it's not just there's like like different developers for the same game or they're just porting it over, and like that's when quality in video games really became apparent to me, is when I would be like, oh, it's the same game here and here, but they look or play completely different and completely you know what I mean? Like it's just that's when I really started realizing games were different in a different medium than I was like when I was reading comic books, or that's when video games became real special for me, is when I realized there's like story and people are behind it. One of my dogs is chewing and I can't figure out who it is. But anyway, so Matt, we just talked about Silent Hill with Colin and like why it was his favorite game. What's one of your favorite games, or what is your favorite game and why?
Current favorite game or just all-time favorite, like throwback included?
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what your current favorite game is.
Yeah, I think
Let's
everybody does. Anybody that follows me knows what my current muse is. Yeah.
yeah. So
Arc
what's your what?
Raiders. Arc Raiders is my current main. Like, love that game. Great game. Um, All-time favorite, I'm gonna throw back to Halo. Like the original Halo, not to OTSD, none of it, just the regular original Halo. There's so much core gaming involved in that for me, just from the history standpoint, and memories of playing with you, all of our friends, stuff like that when we were growing up. Now look, my cameras. There we go.
See, it was mine before we started, and now
Yeah,
I'm
now you
good.
fixed yours. Both of ours are just deciding to bug
You're
out.
inspecting us right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So and plus, like, Halo's it's still to this day has such a following that hasn't been broken. And aside from, some of the other major titles, but if you go back, like, to when Halo first let out, there's still not that many games that have that big of, I don't want to say a cult following, but a cult following. Like, you still got Comic-Con where you'll run into 100 Master Chiefs in the first 20 minutes of being there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, people love Master Chief. They love the story behind it. It's just an OG good game.
It's always funny because like I was saying, I'm a huge Gears of War fan, uh, just overall Xbox fan. But like I love seeing all these people, especially when there's like a new Halo on the rise. Um, the Xbox community is so back and forth, or there's so much hate outside of the Xbox community for like certain franchises. Like I know, like I can look through what used to be Twitter back when like Halo Infinite first like got announced and they were first starting to talk about it, and it was either you really loved Halo or you really hated it, and there was no real in between. But like,
Mm-mm.
and then like everyone's like, oh, Halo's old, they need to just move on to something else, uh or like change it in some way. Like I know everyone was really craving a BR. For anyone for whatever
Yeah,
reason
and they,
doesn't know
they
what that
tried
is, it's a
that.
battle
They
royale.
tried that, and it wasn't. I like it. It just didn't hit in the right way because it wasn't Halo. Because you had two Master Chiefs fighting, and that just wasn't Halo.
Oh, you mean Halo 5
Yeah,
Guardians? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean more so like they wanted a battle royale Fortnite style,
Yeah.
like, and I see like looking at how PUBG, Fortnite, and everything's kind of changed around that realm. Like early, this is gonna sound weird to say, but like the early 2020s and late teens. Yeah, it's real weird saying that now because we're in 2026.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Like that's strange. I don't like that
I mean, I'm
feeling.
not even gonna lie. It feels like COVID. Like everyone talks about COVID being so long ago. Like it really wasn't long ago, but at the same time, it feels like it was like forever ago.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. It's that was a whole era of gaming that's just gonna be forever changed. I think COVID has changed the way we view games and how
Oh,
that media
100%.
is.
So much accelerated. I mean, when the world was on lockdown, no, everybody had time to just sit there and think about developing and how can we make this better and actually doing it because they had time to do it instead of being like, oh, we could do this and then taking 2 to 3 years to do it. They had time to do it and they did it.
Yeah. And I think it's also one of those things like there's such a split of media, and not only in video games but in movies and in a whole bunch of other just concepts of like it's really hard for new ideas to be sold. Like Arc Raiders is one of those like newer ideas that's really sold, that took off and they did really really well with it. And there's not a lot of those that still exist where like I love Gears of War. I love it to death. It's tattooed on me. But like I don't think anything will ever survive the test of time the same way like The Legend of Zelda does or Mario does when you talk about modern gaming, cuz we're entering, like I love Halo and I want Halo to be around forever, but I don't know if Halo's going to exist for another 10 years. You know, like I don't know. I honestly don't think another Gears is going to exist in another 10 years. Namely, because it may take another 10 years for another one to get made. But like thinking about where like Fortnite took over the world, Battle Royales took over the world for, 10 years, or not even 10 years. What? It's been 6 years, 5 years, 4 years?
For what? Sorry.
Fortnite, Battle
Like
Royales?
Fortnite.
Fortnite, it's been 8 years, 8 years this year.
Jesus.
Yep. 8 years this year.
That's weird. That's a weird saying.
Yeah. That's also very crazy.
Yeah. But
Because that, I mean, we won't.
we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
we will
dive into
dabble
it.
into that.
We'll,
We'll dive into
we'll
that
dabble in
later.
that.
That's a whole episode. But that game in and itself changed the gaming community and the
Yeah.
gaming world. 100%.
But it's like I was saying, like it's super interesting to see where, like back to the point that I was trying to make of like you had a lot of people who are loving and hating Halo at the same time, but when Halo Infinite first came out, those first 3 months of Halo Infinite, I feel like the world was set on fire by Halo again. Like I knew people who I hadn't talked to in years that I saw playing Halo on Xbox, and I was like, I thought you were dead. Not really, of course, but you know what I mean. Like I thought you just exited gaming. I had friends that I played back with on the 360 days that were coming back for this Halo and just really going in at it. And for like 3 months, that Infinite set the world on fire, I feel like. And then I don't know, because I definitely fell off of it. Of like, I don't know if it was just content drive for modern gamers or if it was just the paywall for like skins and stuff that changed the way people viewed it, because I know there was a huge fall off for the people who were not just core Halo fans, were all about Halo.
Even for me, as OG and sentimental as Halo is to me, Infinite didn't drive me to play it. Like I would rather go back and just play Halo 1 or Halo 2 than
Yeah.
Infinite any day of the week. While it was fun to be able to actually go online and do that, like when you and I played it, yeah, that was fun to be able to do that with you. But outside of that,
It didn't hit the same niche that I feel like it did.
no, it didn't. It didn't. I don't want to take this like this, but I I felt like a craving that I just wasn't getting, and it just wasn't hitting that itch, and I was just like, ah.
Yeah, I so I don't, it's kind of similar, but I'll peek it in this and tilt it towards like one of my favorite video games, Resident Evil, specifically Resident Evil 2. So very much like Colin and his Silent Hit 2, like that was his first. Because of you, Resident Evil 2 was my first Resident Evil game, and I have very specific memories of sitting at Maul's house, in your group specifically, playing Resident Evil 2 when I definitely was too young, not supposed to be playing that at all.
Me
At
and
all.
Mom said that, but we're gonna. I remember
But-
me and her seeing you do that, and we just said he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn the hard way today. He's gonna get scared. He's gonna pee the bed. Like he's just gonna have to learn that way. And that's,
it's
what you have
you
it.
know, it's so funny because like that set into a realm of video games that I never thought like were possible, because I knew Mario, I knew Zelda, like I knew fun adventure games, colorful, bright, happy-go-lucky time like that. Like I was saying earlier, when I like really figured out that games were different. Like seeing a game with zombies was crazy enough, but like learning that there were, I knew it was called 2, but like it didn't register that it was a sequel to a video game because I was too young to understand that. But like I remember playing that, never getting super far, but just enjoying the gameplay of it. And one thing, as I got older and I got a GameCube and Resident Evil 4 came out, for those who are old enough to remember and are Resident Evil fans, they also, along with Resident Evil 4, released a remake of Resident Evil, and they also ported Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 to the GameCube. And I remember buying all of them. And that was my first time really going through Resident Evil 2 for the first time since I played it on the PlayStation at our grandmother's house. And really understanding, if you've never played the original Resident Evil 2, I would highly suggest, Colin, go back and play it. Because it has this really, like, Colin, you probably know what it is. Matt, you might not have heard of it. It has a built-in system called the zapping system. So they brought it back kind of like in RE9 of like, I want to play as Leon A first, right? So I'm going to go through his first campaign, and certain decisions that you make in his campaign will affect the second run that you do with the other character. So if I go complete a run with Leon A, there's certain decisions that will affect the way Claire's B story or B scenario will run. And vice versa. If you do Claire first, it'll affect Leon's differently. So, like in Resident Evil 9, there are certain items that you can pick up as Grace that will not appear for Leon. Or if you don't pick them up as Grace, they'll appear for Leon. Like if you leave the chef alive and don't kill him as Grace, which like I did, I found out like he's just there for Leon. You just have to fight him, and it's a lot easier than the way I did because he's a big scary chef. But like I remember playing through that and experiencing the B scenario for the first time and just being enthralled because like it's different boss fights, it's different encounters. And I remember being so excited for when the remake of RE2 came out in 2019. And that first run was fantastic. It was everything I wanted it to be. And then you get to the B scenario. Not that the B scenario isn't good, but there is a lot of recycled stuff, and there's not a zapping system. Like your decisions in the first run don't really matter for the B scenario. And there's a lot of like the same boss fights just recycled, except for like the very last boss fights that you do as each character. Like you fight William in every same scenario or the same locations that you would fight him in the A's story, which don't make sense because you've technically already fought him in that place. Versus in the original, if you fought William in the sewer, you'd be fighting another mutant in the sewer instead of William in the B scenario. So like I remember seeing that and seeing a lot of love and hate for that very particular thing because I was loved by so many people. And like I feel kind of with Halo and a lot of other games. I think Silent Hill 2 is probably one of the few ones that just got, correct me if I'm wrong, but like just got a lot
You're
of
wrong.
love for doing a good job of remaking the original story. Cause I'm excited, but I'm also worried about the campaign evolved for Halo that's supposed to release at the end of the year.
If it does, that's
That's true.
that's
every time we've gotten touched on or teased on a new Halo or a updated release or this or that or that or this, we've been dangled this carrot in front of us, and each and every time it just gets yanked away because either 343 sold or somebody bought into it or they just didn't have the budget, couldn't finish it, or whatever XYZ reason. Dude, why? There we go. I don't know. My new camera's sitting at my doorstep, so I'm about to go grab it here in like 9 seconds if that does that one more time. Anyway, but like that's the other thing too, and I feel like there's a lot of games that are like that. Even Fortnite is one of those that has fallen into that realm as well. Is the storyline, and that's through people changing, management changing, developers changing, stuff like that. It's ever evolving, and that one change takes away from what made the game its original. And there's so many games like that. I mean, we could go down the list forever and just watch that evolution take
Right.
place. But when it comes to your cores, I mean, even me as a diehard Halo fan, I love Halo so much. Even if the campaign is like you can't put the pieces together, and there's a gap or there's this that doesn't make sense, I'm still gonna play it, love or hate it. I'm still gonna give into it because that's my OG. That's like
Yeah.
it is what it is.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like, I will always play Resident Evil. I'm always gonna play Legend of Zelda's. Those are just my constants. I'm sure, Colin, are you always gonna play a Silent Hill?
Yeah, anytime it comes out. I played the worst of the worst, and
Yeah, like it's one of those things of like, and that's gonna be one of those things I would love to talk about once we Townfall, right?
yes.
Okay,
Yep.
see, I told you, like I just can't, like it takes me a second to remember it. But like I can't wait for that to come out and like really talk to you. Like what's your excitement level on that? Like cuz I mean, I've only ever seen the first trailer that, we all saw, what was it? 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago? When did that air?
Oof,
Whenever.
a couple months ago, maybe.
Jeez,
It's I know.
time
I
is a
know.
flat circle.
Yeah.
But, like
Um,
where are you at on that? Cuz like that looks really cool to me as just a horror video game person.
well, I'm like mixed on it because like F wasn't the best. I enjoyed it, but there are some elements with. I know it's a different dev team, like completely,
Oh, okay.
but it's kind of like, um, Silent Hill has not had the best track record in a while. 2, I know you like 2 or the remake.
Yeah.
2 remake.
I
I
also
think
like
it's
the original.
bloated and it ruins a few things from the original. So I'm just I'm hesitant on it, but I do think the first person element that they have now. Like how Resident Evil 7 had, I think there's some, not wait, it's 7 or 8.
7.
8 had
7
that,
and 8.
8 had the doll stuff
Yeah.
that I thought was like really Silent Hill. That whole section was just
The
Silent
creepy
Hill.
baby. Ugh.
Yeah.
Creepy baby. Oh my god.
And I was just like, why? This is the part when like Konami had a game drought, like with no games other than pachinko and
Pachinkos, yeah.
slots and stuff, or mobile games or FIFA. So I was just like playing 8, and I was like, dang, I really want like a first-person Silent Hill game that's just that follows this, because it's like you're moving slow. You're not the best combat guy as Ethan.
True.
So it's
Very
just
true.
like, and they take away all your weapons, I believe, in the doll part. So it's just kind of like you're just solving puzzles and you're
Yep.
going around doing stuff, and it's so. I feel like the Townfall people looked at that and probably was like, we could make a first-person Silent Hill game, and because I know there's no combat, there is just I think.
I thought he was swinging.
Pretty sure.
I know he's got a gun. I don't know the like.
Oh yeah,
extent.
I guess they do gun stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of like throwing bottles to get distracted,
Around.
which I guess Grace does
with the girl. Yeah. Ugh,
So
giant eyeballs.
I'm looking forward to it, but there's also this thing that's like, well, Konami is Konami,
Yeah,
and
that's true. It's true. I mean, I also you were not there, but I was texting you throughout my Snake Eater
yeah.
campaign. That was
Did you finish
fun.
that?
I did. I did
Oh, good.
finish.
Good.
Did the boss kill me once or twice before I finished the game? Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, she did.
Of course.
Did I also maybe die because I took too long fighting her and everything blew up via the bomb people? Yes. That also happened. But yeah, like I don't know. You're better at this kind of thing of
You're gonna have to give me half a second. Y'all can keep going.
go
My
do your
phone
thing.
is having a little accident. Be
Oh,
right back.
yeah, you're good. Uh how because you played Silent Hill F and I didn't. What like how do you think they're gonna tie like because it is Silent Hill like notion because it's called Silent Hill, but like are we worried about the location change not being in Silent Hill at all? Because I
Well,
know F wasn't like, or F was kind of like that too, but I
yeah, F has like barely any connection to the original town other than like I don't know how much spoilers should we get into
I
of
mean
things.
honestly, whatever you're down for, because I
Okay, well,
mean
if you
there.
haven't played F, I would just mute for a little bit. Um, so there's the only connection there is that the flowers that they use for the drugs in Silent Hill 1
Oh,
are in the town, are in whatever the location of Silent Hill F. They were brought from Silent Hill over, and they were used for like medicine. So, sorry. So that's like the only connection. There are like witches kind of in it, and so there's some and a lot of the symbolage looks like the halo of the sun that's in
gotcha.
the town, but very Japanese. So they it's like some leaves instead
Oh, okay.
for it.
Heard.
But other than that, there's like no connection. But this is not like the first time that it's been outside of the town of Silent Hill. 4
Oh yeah, the room.
goes to like a neighboring town. I want to say
Okay.
Pleasantville, but I might be
That's one
wrong
of
on
the
that.
west, like the United.
And then like Homecoming is also a neighboring town called Shepherd's Glen,
Oh, okay.
and they have their own cult connection in that one and their own ritual. So like there's like everyone has like their own ritual stuff using probably this drug. And so
You're actually teaching me a lot that I feel like I should know but didn't.
you don't
Down
have
for
to play
this.
Homecoming. It's Garbo. Uh, I enjoy the story of Homecoming, but the gameplay is Garbo. Downpour is also Garbo. Like this there's more Garbo Silent Hill than
Good Silent Hill.
good Silent Hill. So hopefully we're in a Konami redemption arc right now.
Yeah, they
Hopefully.
definitely. I feel like they definitely need to hit the same thing that Capcom did, or they're starting to get onto that of just like remake all of the good stuff first.
Yeah. And then yeah, so the games have been getting better, but there is like in the last 2-3 years the worst Silent Hill ever, and it was like a mobile game. It was called Ascension, and I
Oh
believe we
yeah,
talked about that, and it's
yeah.
just like oof, man. And that doesn't take place in Silent Hill. It takes place in 2 different towns, one in Norway and one somewhere in America.
Heard. Okay,
And
cool.
there's a vague cult connection. So as long as there's like the cult or the flower or just something that I can be like, oh, look, I remember that from this game, I'm fine. I've never had a problem with it leaving Silent Hill.
Nice. That's his new camera.
It is. I went and grabbed it.
So I know there's a lot of gamers out there that disagree with leaving Silent Hill, but it's like it's the direction they want to go.
Yeah, I'm
And-
sure. I'm glad because like I was too young for when Resident Evil first left Raccoon City and like Raccoon Forest and all that for Code Veronica, and then 4. 4 is probably the biggest departure.
I remember that very specifically because that was me and Mom played that actually.
What, Code Veronica?
Yeah. And I remember you trying to peek on it, and that was the one time Mom was like, "No." I remember the scene in the game. Mom was like, "No, you cannot watch this. You need to go away."
That
And
was
she
sad.
kicked you out of the room.
That was sad. I
And I
miss it
think that's
really.
why you have such a trauma love for Resident Evil.
Probably, Probably.
Got taken away from you, yeah.
but well, I'm glad you have at least some decent excitement for home.
What,
is it?
Townfall again?
Thank you,
Downfall.
Jesus,
No,
Townfall.
Homecoming's the older one.
I almost called it Homestead. I was like, that is not the correct name for that.
That would be a good one, I think. Silent Hill Homestead. We go back.
That would be good, actually.
that yeah,
Farm
like
setting or something. I think that would be really cool.
I think that's the one thing Capcom did really really right. And I love RE9. I think RE9 is a fantastic game. I kind of dislike the new game plus stuff of it, of like how they do it, but that's neither here or there. That's just is what it is. It's fine. But like going back to Raccoon City has been something that our fans have always I've always wanted to do, because I wanted to see a terrible messed up Raccoon City. You may not know this. I know Matt definitely doesn't know this, but well, I'm like you. I'm very much a lore guy, and God, probably the 2010, 20, somewhere between 2010 and like 2012 or 2013. There's a short, like when YouTube first really started happening and like popping off for people. There was this. I'd have to find it. It'd be really hard to, I think. It was a short about the crater of Raccoon City, that like still tied back into all of it, where it showed like hunters and like lickers still like moving around in the like crater of Raccoon City, and how Umbrella still had people like out there searching and like going into that. And I thought that was so neat because it connects so well to what they did with RE9, of like how there are these big BOWs that are still just wandering around. Like, I really hope, just from like playing Silent Hill with you and like now my experience with it, of like going, like, I think I really need to play Silent Hill 3. Like, I think we need to get on this as soon as
do.
possible.
Yeah. Just come on over. We'll just play it.
Like,
I got it all set up already for you.
oh yes. Like, coming back to see like things that would make more sense to me now after playing technically 3 Silent Hill games, I think would be really fun to be like, oh, I recognize that. Because I always really liked those nodbacks in Resident Evil games. I was just like, I know that.
So
What?
what is everyone's favorite like Muse game right now? Like and we
Newer?
could, yeah, like we're gonna stop recording today. What are you gonna pick up and play? That's what I think. That's one thing we should touch on today.
One thing. So
What are you gonna pick up and play today?
it's not a new game,
It doesn't have to be
but
a new game, but it just has to be.
because
What
I recently got all my emulators working, and I actually found a decent site to maybe or maybe not find video games to download and play. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm probably gonna play Soul Silver, Pokemon Soul Silver, which was the remake of Gold and Silver from the Game Boy. Color that got made onto the DS of just because until my ladies get done with their show this weekend, um, Amanda's going through Leaf Green, but we both paused so that she can focus on the show. So we're going through those together, trading Pokemon and doing that whole thing because it's her first Pokemon journey. I paused because she wants to go through like each area together in case we get Pokemon, trade Pokemon, whatever. But I'm
How did you get started in Pokemon? Where did your Pokemon love come from?
Pokemon originally was, I mean, everyone knows it was a late 90s game. Um, I have, I actually got asked this question at work the other day of what my favorite Pokemon game was, and I have three different answers that are for very vaguely different reasons. But the reason I got started was I originally remember playing Pokemon Red on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color because that was my first Game Boy. And then I got Pokemon Yellow, which is where Pikachu just follows you around. I remember playing that for a while. And then I missed Silver and Gold. And then I got a Game Boy Advance and I got Pokemon Emerald. And that was the first real Pokemon game that I knew like fire good against grass, grass good against water, so or so forth and so forth. And I got really into Emerald for a long time, missed basically every early, like, everything that came out on the Nintendo DS Pokemon wise. Just that entire genre of video game I skipped past in that time because that was middle school era for me going into high school. So I kind of just fell off Nintendo unless it was The Legend of Zelda really, really hard. Um, And then the 3DS came out, one of my favorite systems of all time, because they had, funny enough, the Ocarina of Time 3D remake. And that's the entire reason I bought a 3DS. And I remember at roughly around the same time, I was like, oh, I should get this and play this. Um, X and Y were coming out, and one of their big advocates was like, "Hey, you also get a Gen 1 starter of Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle." And I was like, "Sold. I nostalgia all the way. I want Charmander." And X and Y became
I remember
my
that. I remember that.
yeah, that was 2013. No. Yeah. Yeah, 2013, I think. 2012, somewhere in there. Because that was the same year that Gears 3 came out. And I was all about my video games at that point. And I just remember that being what really got me back into Pokemon, and I haven't stopped since. Like, I've gotten every Pokemon game since then, but since I missed out on Diamond, Pearl, Black 2, White 2, I missed all of those. I missed the Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So Johto is one of my least traveled regions. I've gone through Kanto uh, 4 or 5.
Times, right?
Yeah, like honestly, like 30 times. I know that map like the back of my hand. I don't even have to think about it because like I remember getting there was a used game store at Memphis where we grew up called Game Exchange. And
Jeez, yeah.
and right right before like the Pokemon market like really blew up and you could still get like Pokemon games for like 40-50 bucks, which is still kind of expensive then, but they're like I could get Emerald for like 60 bucks. Emerald, for reference, now just the cartridge is like $300.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, I'm very upset that I didn't keep any of the cartridges. But like I got a Game Boy SP that had like the backlit screen, which revolutionary for its time. But like I really like started going back and playing the Pokemon games that I hadn't played before. Like I bought a DS, like the original gray brick looking DS, and yeah, just went through Soul Silver because I loved Lugia. Lugia has always been my legendary out of those two. But like started going through that and I was like, I really want to just go play Soul Silver again. So that's currently I've got quote unquote allegedly it on my phone as well. So when we're slow at work, I just pull it up and start playing.
Let me ask both of you this: if you had to go back and you had to buy a game, like it could be any game you wanted it to be, right? But what is one game if you were told you go back, you could buy one game, it's not free, but that's the only game you get. What game would that be?
From any system ever?
Any system ever, but that's the only game you get, period, point blank, to play again. Mika, stop it.
Do we
Really
get
can't.
our memories wiped? Like we have no recollection of the game
Nope, it's going to
whatsoever?
be core memory game. You have your memories of it.
Ooh.
That's a tough question, right?
Well, I immediately go to a Legend of Zelda game. I'm just
Yep,
stuck
I figured you
between.
would. I
Yeah,
figured you would.
I'm stuck between two. I would either do. I want to say Ocarina because that is my most played Zelda game of all time. It's also my favorite Zelda game of all time. But my second answer, and my more than like what I think I would choose honestly, is my second answer, which is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Because
I don't remember that one.
it's like the open sea one.
It's the cartoony one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do. Okay,
Like
I do remember that.
I remember just because like I remember having so much fun with that game. It was completely different from anything that we had experienced in Zelda before, and I know a lot of people hated it for that exact reason of it was an ocean, there was no like Hyrule Field, blah blah blah. Like, but that just it was the most open a game has ever felt to me that made it truly kind of like a delusion of a real open world. Like the technology that they put into that game to make it the way they did on that system was amazing. And just the awe of everything in that game. Even the annoying Triforce side, not even side quest, just the Triforce quest where you had to go find every piece of the Triforce, which we will never talk about ever again.
Well, they fixed that in the remake.
I still haven't played the remake, which is terrible.
Tied to the Wii U.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping that with the Ocarina remake that has not been announced but was completely announced, uh, is they're just gonna put the HD versions of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess just on the Switch too. Like I just hope they're just like, oh, here's a whole bunch of Zelda. Here's the big Zelda thing. Here's the remakes. Just take them. I don't think they're going to do that, but like if they did something like they did with Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, they would sell gangbusters.
Nintendo's really like, I would say gatekeepy, I guess, with their
Yeah.
own games. Like it's always they're always forever locked on another console that you just can't
Yeah.
access.
But what about you, Colin? What's one game you could
So I have my memory still, and I'm going back to go buy it.
Yep.
I don't know because I kept all of my games that I've ever bought.
Oh,
So
you're such a good
the
man. You're such a good man.
so the-
There's no
so
way you have every game you've ever
I sold some like shitty PS2 games, and that was enough for me. Like, I don't want to do this again. I want to like
I respect
I
that.
do, yeah.
these forever. But I am getting older now. I'm thinking about downsizing the collection, unfortunately.
Oh, Matt died.
Nope. No, I didn't.
Your camera
He's
died. Oh, he's
switching
unplugging his
camera?
camera. He's switching his camera. I see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Colin, let me ask you this: as we're getting older, this is a good question for all of us because
No,
I was also like you of, especially with Resident Evils and like anything that I could get my hand on, like collector's editions, especially in the like late 360 PS3 era to the Xbox One, PS4 era. Like I was all about just hard physical copies all the time. But now, because I know you're mostly a PC gamer, does it bother you at all not having your Steam library but in physical conditions? Or like how do you feel about going to a more digitized world? Because I also think I think we all come from that of like having the physical discs in your hand is something special.
It's different with me with PC games. Like I don't care about having the physical of most of my PC games. There's a few that I like to keep just because of like nostalgia's sake, like my Warcraft 2 disc and things
Mm,
like that. But a lot of it is just like I can't just put the game into my computer anymore and just play it
right.
because you have to like either install or it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like the Windows updates just make the older shit. I
Just
can't cuss on
obsolete. Yeah, yeah.
this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Obsolete. So yeah, and then like I have been playing getting digital games for forever on PC. So it's a little less uh annoying to not have a physical. Especially since Steam came in like 2004 and I never got like a Half-Life 2. I did, but it was like some other games. So it was easy transition. But I love just grabbing any of my Super Nintendo cartridges, my N64 cartridges, and just plugging it in and playing. Uh, so and you know, emulators not quite the same, but
Yeah, it's definitely weird playing Soul Silver with an Xbox controller.
yeah,
It's
it doesn't feel right unless you have like an actual
yeah. That I was
Super Nintendo controller or a CRTV
yeah,
for it.
it was the one thing I'm forever grateful about the Switch too is and the online like their emulator.
The
Yeah, yeah,
NFO
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah,
the
because like
very limited
you could
is
put like a CRTV filter on it. Like it's not the same of course, but it's nice.
yeah, it's okay.
And one thing I was really thinking about because I'm just playing the Wind Waker on the GameCube emulator for the Switch 2 is great. I love it. It feels natural. But like what doesn't feel natural is holding Switch 2 Joy-Cons while trying to play that game. Like knowing that I could just go buy the Nintendo brand GameCube controller that's for the Switch 2 for $60-$70, whatever it
A
is.
lot. Yeah.
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 And I really thought about it. I've almost pulled the trigger a few times because I just want that experience. But I recently learned that the Japanese versions of those controllers work on US systems. And the Japanese version of those controllers on eBay and anywhere else you can get them are like half the price of the current
Don't tell
controllers.
people the secret.
No one heard that. But
You
like
buy it now and then, you know,
yeah, because
Somebody-
like
you can tell
so very specifically for like the SNES controllers and the NES controllers that are consistently sold out in the US stores, you can buy them from the Japan store for half the price and just ship them. And I mean, you're probably going to cost an arm and a leg in shipping, but besides that, they're
Well, today's in the shipping world today, that's an
it's a
arm and a
lot.
leg's not a half bad price. I mean, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but
Look at the resolution. Sorry to get off topic, but my
You look the
does look
same.
good. Yeah.
yeah, pretty happy.
Your beard looks more defined.
It
Mhm.
does.
Yes.
It does.
I can
See.
see
But also,
the individual
strand.
gray hairs.
oh, I clarified at the beginning of this in our intro, which we have totally gotten away from. That I'm the oldest here. We don't need to dabble. That
No, I'm 100. Well, that's also important. So
it is important. You're right. It actually is very important to this.
it's one thing I will always say as, and it's one thing I'm sure Colin and I are very lucky, and Matt, you are too, to have partners that really understand that gaming is not just for children. Like I remember, like that's one thing I will always give credit to my mom about, even though she was just basically playing Zelda all the time, and the amount of stories I could go into about her playing Zelda may or may not be forgetting me at school playing Zelda.
Look. Do you want to dabble in the backstory of why you were forgotten at school?
Because she got stuck in the water dungeon of Ocarina of Time.
I remember that so much. The panic in her and how mad she was at the entire planet. Not herself. She was mad at the whole world that you had been forgotten at school.
Even though
She was not.
she was supposed to pick me
Oh
up.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah. This stupid game. I couldn't beat this. They made it too hard, and I forgot all about them.
But back on subject, like we were saying, like it is, you know, there's still that stigmatism of people see adults like us playing video games and they're immediately like, oh, those are for kids. Like, why are you doing it? Blah, 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 blah. And I mean, we could sit there and say it, you know, how many times forever throughout the day, that video games are more than just kids' toys. We can save this for a topic on another episode, but it's one.
We could deep dive into that too. Yeah.
Well, it's one thing I was gonna say. It's like this is what I was like saying. We could deep dive into another day for another episode. Of there's so many people out there that consider video games art, and I have a whole subject because I would love to really pick your minds.
That's a whole at least 2-hour conversation.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it at all, but like I would love to pick your brains about it, especially you, Colin.
100%. Dude, I'm all in for that conversation.
But knowing that it's more than just art to us, it's an escape. It's being able to enter a world where we don't have to just be ourselves. We get to be wizards. We get to be super soldiers. We get to be whatever. And if video games,
it's a safe
spot, safe zone. This
place.
is my no
safe
square.
Place. This is my no square. Don't touch me here. This is my no square. Yes. Ultimately, the video games that we end up playing, we get touched in that square all the time. But that's neither here nor there.
Repo.
Sorry.
Repo.
Repo, Fortnite, or you name it, Halo. It's stream sniping. I don't know. I still don't know how you stream sniping from Chattanooga to where I'm at in Greenville. In Halo, I don't know how you do that. I need to know how you're hacking like that, but that's whatever.
Yeah. But
Green cheater.
like it's also because thinking back to like my mom or our mom, sorry, I forget.
No, you're good.
Of like mom would have been what, 65 this year? 64? 64.
Yeah, 4.
But like knowing like one of the last like big video games I remember her playing, and this was in 2017. So she would have been 50s, late 50s, mid 50s. Was Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that was the last like Zelda game I remember her specifically playing, and what a big deal that was. Hi guys. Give me a second and I will deal with y'all. And it just goes to show like video games are ageless for people. I think I'm going to be 75 years old still playing video games, hopefully not in VR because I'm too old for that shit. But you know, like
I do think and this is obviously put this down as a bullet point in your book that we'll come back to this. AR gaming, not VR, AR.
Oh, gaming. AR games?
Yeah, that's going to be the next like thing in 10 years from now.
I'll check. I'll make a pizza bet on that with you because I don't know. I feel like AR.
I'm gonna bet against that. Yeah.
I'm gonna bet against that too. We have.
You don't think?
No, because the only reason.
Let's save it because
That's a
I've
good
got
one.
some stuff that I will think will counter and change your attitude on that.
I don't
Okay.
know. But anyway,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
we've
There's
been
so
going
many
for
things, y'all. Like
yeah.
we've been.
We're kind of just bouncing along here, but we're about an hour in, and I do want to talk about some stuff that's going on in the industry,
You,
and
I'm gonna clip that because you literally said that on the hour mark.
you're
Literally
welcome.
to the second. Good job.
Um, but I really want to talk to you guys from a boots on the ground video gamer and what it means to us about stuff that's going on in the industry. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is something like I listen to news and everything video games going on all the time from like the just minute BS that, people are getting laid off consistently. Like I really, yeah, uh, before I get really, have y'all heard about Destiny 2? Have y'all
I have.
heard?
Yes,
It's
I have.
ending.
Yeah. So
Yep.
like that really
Dude, I know
leaves.
so many people that are brokenhearted over that right now.
Yeah. So like stuff like that of, like um, Sony spent like what they spent like $1.6 billion to acquire Bungie, and one of their biggest products of Destiny is getting shut out. And I remember playing Destiny when it first came out and Destiny 2 when it first popped off. And I slowly fell out of it just because I appreciate Destiny and everything that it is and what it does, but it's at the core of it, it's not my type of video game. I got in there for the story, really enjoyed the story, but I am not. It's really hard for me to sit there and grind out video games in that kind of sense, unless it's Resident Evil and I'm trying to beat my best time. But, like, what are y'all's thoughts? Do you think because uh, Colin helped me out. What is the studio that made the remake of Demon Souls?
Oh, it's a Blue Point, I think.
So they just closed Blue Point. Which is that by itself is
That's a wild
that's
thing to do.
yeah, that's wild because
Is the Demon Souls remake was really popular.
yeah, it was really good. I recently just started playing it for my first Souls like game. I haven't picked it up in a few months. That is nothing against the game. That's just because I'm a very busy worker and person.
We need to play Dark Souls.
Yes, we do.
It's
But like what do y'all think what do you think the possibility of them closing down Bungie as a studio after spending all this money? And I mean, Marathon, their newest game, isn't like the setting the world on fire that I think everyone at Sony wanted it to be. But from what I've heard from people who've played Marathon, is the game Marathon by itself is a fun game to play. It's just not. And
Ooh, can I chime in on that for like a second? Oh, my camera. Sorry, it'll follow me now. Like it's got tracking. So
make
don't
sure
know
you
what
don't
it's-
crack the screen. Love you. Anyway, yeah, go for it.
Anyway, so sorry. As a super like in the middle of between like an art guy and Marathon, I have so many friends, myself included, that have dabbled in Marathon. I can't get behind it, and we will definitely have to have an episode on extraction shooters, especially with the announcement that came out. What was it last night? It came out. I don't want to say it on this yet, but what I called you and told you earlier about get the boys back together. We're going back. Yeah. That. Because that is also extraction based. If you haven't heard,
I did not.
instead, yeah, it is extraction based. And what that looks like, Colin, I'll tell you after we're done recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'll say this, and we'll get into this on a segment because I for me, gaming, milsim realism games are far more attractive to me than like say Overwatch, Apex.
Right.
Fortnite was a hard stretch for me. I procrastinated on it for how many years, Max? Years and years and years.
Years.
I couldn't get behind it because it It was too cartoonish. It was too big. I didn't like the building. It took away from like the Milson feel of a shooter for me. But again, that's just a generational thing for me. Um,
No,
you
I
know,
understand that because I'm in that same boat too. Of the first time
and
I saw someone build a mansion next to me to kill me was the last time I was like, all right, cool, I'm
yep, I'm
good.
out. Yep, see it. So, but I can't. I feel like Marathon is just a cheaper version of Arc. You don't have to work as hard as you do in Arc, just like Arc is a cheaper version of Tarkov, if you will.
Right.
And I feel like that's a downhill trickle, and I feel like a lot of startup developers or indie developers are kind of like that, and that's where they get their big schmoozy from. Look at Repo. Repo is a great example of that. They spent what I think it was 12 years developing Repo in their basement, almost gave up like 5 times, ran out of money 6 or 7 times, and they just stuck with it. Two guys, and it's a multi-million-dollar game now,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
still what,
fantastic.
like $7 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I'm gonna look at Steam right now because I'm curious if they jumped the price up.
It's either 10 or 20.
Is it?
Yeah. Let's see. It's 10. Yeah.
It's $10. It's
So
10 bucks.
they upped
I
it by
mean,
$3.
yeah, they upped it
That
by
that's
$3
that's
from what I
Steam's
thought.
30% right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's inflation. That's what that is. That's paying for
But
science, guys.
so exactly my point to like you have all these that's actually a fantastic point. Of like you have all these indie developers kind of like what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast of like who are doing everything right, it seems, or at least like when Among Us popped off too, like you have these little games, but you have a multi-billion-dollar company like Bungie who has this multi-$100 million IP now Sony's just like, no, we're just gonna shut it down because there's too much resources going into it. Like I'm now because we all know Bungie used to be Halo. Destiny's a fantastic game. Is it my game? No. But it's a fantastic game. But
You know,
like do you think this could be the start of Sony making I'll quote kind of funny of every time Sony shoots herself in the foot, Xbox shoots himself in the face. Um do you think this
damn.
is
I wish you were wrong about that statement, though.
like this
Like,
is I wonder if this is starting to be like kind of the flip-flop of like Xbox 360 was where it was at for that generation. Xbox has lost out on everything. Do you think we're about to see a flip of because the new CEO of Xbox Games, I can't remember how to say her name, so I'm not
I
going
can't either.
I don't remember. But she's doing great.
Yeah,
Sharma.
Good
from what
decisions, I think.
Yeah, like she's saying all the right things. Everyone's like getting behind her. She's bringing in people who are making definite changes. Do you
Well,
think we're
also
gonna?
from what I've seen, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna cut you off.
You hate
Also
me. It's
from what
okay. I
I've
get it.
seen, yeah, I do, but that's okay. I love you. Being the console guy is like there's already a push for a like Xbox Series S version of the next level console or the next generation console
Yeah.
that they're pushing very, very, very hard to come out sooner before the next big tier console comes out next year.
Yeah, and well, there's a. Oh yeah, I guess we are in 2026, so it is next year now. Um,
Yeah.
like I wonder if we're gonna start to see that change of like if Sony I don't I can't fathom them actually shutting down Bungie after making that kind of purchase for him. But like I'm wondering if we start to see a change in the way we like everyone's on PlayStation side to um everyone's now falling back on Xbox side because like I was telling y'all before we started recording PlayStation is taking like all the exclusives that are now on Steam and the Epic Game Store and all these places on PC that you can buy their games. Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, God of War, I think God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Miles Morales. They've publicly announced, hey, we're not doing that anymore. If you want to play Marvel's Wolverine, which is supposed to come out in October, I think, or September, somewhere around that area, like you have to have a PlayStation 5. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to play their games. Um, and you have Xbox, who's very much kind of taking a step back from, hey, we're putting everything everywhere, to we're going to just put it on our Xbox and the PC, and that's where we're just going to keep things, except for what we've already announced. Um, they haven't officially announced or said that publicly, but I do know that's kind of the talks behind the industry, and like stuff that I've heard of, like this is where they're really trying to put everything, um and try and roll everything back from you can play Xbox games anywhere to we really want you to buy our box because that's how we make money. So I don't know. Do y'all think we'll see a shift and see that Xbox maybe shoots themselves in the foot for once and Sony shoots themselves in the face?
I think I think Xbox and Microsoft, I think with this new Xbox of CEO, and one, what really, for me being in the business I'm in the position I'm in, and as long as I've been at the same business I have, I think about business a lot different than I ever have. And she has been quiet in the public eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it, like kind of scary quiet, which means to me, what tells me is she's working.
Right.
She's in there working. She's grinding. She's not out playing a public figure and being like, "Oh, we're this," and posting stuff and in
Yeah.
social media in the spotlight. And that I love to see that. I love to see that. Like I don't care what social media. I don't care about my presence. I care about working for my company.
Right.
And I as a console guy, and I say whatever you want. If they
Loser.
stick whatever, whatever. Um if they stick true to their guns and we get a OS based operating system on a console and we can run Steam and actually cross play Steam games with PC players, you'll 100% see me buy a new console.
That's do you
Not
okay, so I'm with you behind that. Do you think you're willing, after just spending the money that you spent to get your PC, do you think you're willing to spend $1,000 on the new Xbox?
oh 100%. Based on what I just said, yeah, 100%, absolutely. Absolutely. If we can get a Steam based or an internet based operating system on a console, and it will actually run the games. The only thing I think is going to be a problem for that, and the consoles haven't figured out, is mouse and keyboard not controller compatible. But you can just hook
You
your
can
mouse
just
and
plug them
keyboard.
in now.
Yeah, you can just plug them in and roll with it. But that kicks a lot of people out that are not mouse and keyboard players. Like me, still gonna run my controller for a lot of my games, especially my shooter games. My shooters and my driving games. Like I not all my
Driving
shooter
games I
games.
get.
Yeah, driving games I don't have a steering wheel, so I will be investing in one.
I
Um,
figured. Come over, you just have an entire racing car
don't think I
simulator.
haven't looked at them. Like, don't undercut me like that. You know I have. Don't even play. But yes, I would be willing to spend $1,000 on the new Xbox if it is compatible like that. Now, if it is just another Xbox cloud-based operating system, I probably won't. I will probably stick to strictly PC
You know, I may put some stuff on there on the Xbox that I don't stream or that are just like my veg out games like Roadcraft. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's my open world solo game. I'm not going to stream it. If I do, it's very, very seldom. I'm just kind of in a emo kind of mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, um, and you can understand it. You gave it a try and you lasted about 17 minutes before you got overwhelmingly bored of that game.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
unless
got
it's
80 hours in it, you know, and
yeah.
I like it, but it also is like a mood setting game. But that's neither here nor there. But yes, I would buy it to continue playing games like that.
So
Outside of that,
So let me ask you a question based on that. Knowing that you have the generational, like
I'm
how,
old. Go ahead. Yeah, whatever.
not like that, but like the fact that like I, I will almost 100% guarantee you for at least the next 3 to 4 years that they have a new generational console is that whatever games they put out will still be able to run on the Series X. And that's one of the big things that like is stopping me from being a full commitment into yeah, I'm willing to drop $1,000. Now granted that's just, hearsay, we don't know that's for sure, but like that's what everyone's speculating it's going to be around. I if I know that I'm going to be able to play at least the next couple of years worth of games still on the Series X, I don't see a purpose in buying the new console right off the rip, especially especially since I have my PC and I can just play my Xbox games there if I really want to. Like I know everyone's different. Like once you get down the road and you have a little more investment on your PC, I'm gonna be curious to see where you're at then to see
So
if you still.
here's my I'll give you this. And yes, this is you were right wording it that way, the generational thing. And because I'm just an old head console guy. Like truthfully, I wish I had a wall full of every console I've ever had.
That's fair.
I had, not you had, because I didn't like the GameCube. That was you. I was not a GameCube fan. But anyway,
That's still fair.
yep. Um yes, I love my PC. I love being able to do what I wanted to do on my PC. Um, you know, and I planned. I mean, you and I talked about it for. I've been talking about it for what, a year and a half, 2 years. Like making this transition and getting what I wanted, waiting and waiting to get what I actually wanted in a PC.
Right.
And I, I, granted, I got a really good deal on my PC. I'm very happy with it. I absolutely do not regret 1 second buying it. I won't. But also, I'm kind of miss vegged out on the couch just playing on a TV too, you know, with a console and a controller like that. That to me was kind of my safe space, my release, my end of day. Like, okay, you know,
I can
we're
sit
gonna chill.
down
Yeah,
on my couch.
yeah. Like, I love my chair. Like, I got a really nice setup, and I'm very happy with it. It's ergonomical. It's comfortable. It's not.
I think
Screaming.
it also just has to deal with how all of us grew up on games. Like, I mean, I know Grand had his flight simulators, and I remember playing those at the computer years and years and years ago, back when having a home PC was kind of a much of a luxury as you could get. Um, but like, I think any one of us has a core memory of sitting on a couch, looking at a big CRTV that and a
You
big
remember?
giant cabinet that they always were in.
Yep. You remember when we used to put up the pillows in Maul's living room against the table, and then we would just sit on the floor playing that.
Yep.
When she finally got that big, huge 300-pound flat screen TV.
Yeah, don't remind me of that. Flat screen TV, but it's not a flat TV.
No, it was not a flat TV. No, it was 10 feet deep, but like a 35-inch TV, and
Like a
weighed
plasma.
300 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
that's a trip down memory lane. But so yes, it will always be a nostalgia thing at this point. Now that I've dove into the PC world, but will I always keep a console? Yeah, 100%. Because at
So
some point, the Series X, my Series X is going to be non-compatible, right? And yeah, I will probably get the new console when it comes out, as long as it is compatible with Steam games and at least other online gaming like that, where we can fetch the Steam store, or they partner with Steam and bring Steam into the Xbox store, Microsoft store, where we can go both ways. Using API hooks and tokens and stuff like that to actually allow us to do that.
so
Yeah, it may cost more, but I'd pay $2 more a game to be able to play Tarkov on my console or play, you know, Repo.
that's fair. Yeah. So what if, so with Xbox rolling back everything, um, and trying to be like, buy our box, what if they roll back on the idea of making it a two-way system? Like what if they roll back like, hey, we thought about the Steam Xbox thing and we don't want to go forward with that. We're just going to keep going with what we've got. Um
No, I would not buy the next generation
Yeah.
console then. No.
Because I also like, unless it's that specifically, I can't justify it being like $1,000. But also, like,
I could see other people justifying it that don't have, especially once we start diving into the world of what PCs cost to build and buy now. I mean, you and I have been looking at that for months.
yeah, and especially like I said with Ramageddon going on, the price of RAM just being insane.
Let me ask you this. All right. I'll justify it this way because I think very fiscally minded, right? And you know how fiscally minded I've been over buying this big chunk of thing down here.
Yeah, for like 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, kiss my ass. Anyway, moving on. And Colin, you can answer this too because I'd be interested on your take on this. If you had nothing to play games on right now, absolutely nothing, and you had to build a PC or buy a console, but you have the same dollar amount for both.
What's the
So
dollar amount?
what's the Series X running right now?
$600.
Okay. What's a PS5 Pro? It's 800 right now?
950
Okay. So take
or
PS5 Pro.
850. It's one of those two.
Something anyway. Whatever the most expensive console you can buy with the include a headset, all that, like whatever, however you want to do it. Let's say $1,000. You have $1,000 to play with. You know what? We'll take it up a notch. You got $1,200. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna buy a cheap $1,200 PC, or are you gonna buy a console with nice things?
I think I could probably squeeze out a really good PC with 1,200 that would match like a console if I built it myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, especially, and this is not anything against you, Matt, but I'm kind of with Colin on that too.
Okay.
Of like,
There's no wrong answer. I'm genuinely asking this because I know my answer is going to be a console.
I know, so because Colin's a lot better at building PCs and know better parts via than I do, but like especially helping you build.
One trip to Micro Center, he's cooking.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, when you compare to like what you have or what I have or what Colin has, even compared to the Series X and PS5 and PS5 Pro, of like what graphically those are doing and the upscaling that they're having to do, to make the games look like they look and to run at 4K. Of I, I bought my 3080 12 GB for like $450, and it's a 1440p card, but it can run games in 4K. Like, and not terribly. Like I can do ray tracing and path tracing on the card. Does that maybe kill my frame rate a little bit? We're not going to talk about it. But like I know like I don't have to have DDR5. I don't have to have the ultra core that I have. Like I could probably do like a third like a 12 or a 13th Intel generation, do 32 gigabytes or even 16 gigabytes of DDR4 and still get pretty decent performance for what we're pushing for
Right.
that. And I would still be getting better performance than I would be getting on Series X or even a PS5 Pro.
Right. Okay. And I mean that checks out. That checks out. And I mean, for me, especially since I just finished putting my setup together, everything I have, including my camera that I just got today. This new one that is obviously much better. I've got a ton of money wrapped up in this
Yeah.
between the dual monitors, the mic, and I mean I did all this to stream and do this podcast and everything else we're doing. And I mean I streamed off a console, and that was tough. It sucked. I mean, to be quite honest, using a capture card, having to deal with audio fallouts, doing with video fallouts, and it just wasn't efficient or fun. But it was cost effective. I mean, I used my TV that was already up on my wall. I didn't have to buy monitors. And I think if we're gonna stick to the core of your average gamer,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're gonna go buy the console, especially as PC parts and prices keep just ticking up.
Well,
I mean,
I
every
agree
time
with that, but I also will say, and not a complete counter, but a good counter, is I also think PC gaming now, currently, is the most popular it's ever been.
100%.
Like
I, I
not to
yeah,
call Colin out or anything, but this man's been PC Master Race for ever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, right.
like even so, like to give you like an example of the Kind of Funny guys that I watch, shout out Kind of Funny. They are PlayStation kids. Like that is their thing. Like they are all basically. I mean, you have Mike Snowbike Mike, who's a Xbox kid, like you are, or I am. But for the most part, I would say 80% of that staff is all PlayStation kids, and within the past year and a half, 2 years that I've been watching them for 7 or 8 years at this point, and listening to them and watching them and
I'm gonna
whatever.
mute for a second. I gotta take this quick call from work.
You're good. Um, Colin will appreciate it. Uh, like they're becoming more PC players, like Greg Miller, who is known for PlayStation from IGN and all this other stuff. He is playing on a ROG Ally X. He's more into PC gaming, and he used to make fun of PC gamers. He hated PC gamers forever. And now he is one, and it's really funny to see him change throughout that. And I'm sure it has to do with it's probably just easier to get PC codes for reviews or whatever. But it's interesting to see the shift in the amount of people I see playing on PC, or like friends that I met. I was like, "Oh, what games do you play? What system you're playing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm playing on PC." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." Super, pre-built store-bought PCs, but they're still playing on PCs, and I think that's really interesting compared to where it used to be in the Xbox like 360 and PS3 era, where like everyone had a 360. And then you had the one like weird kid who had a PlayStation 3.
All right, so sorry.
But like what do you think, Colin? Do you think it like you're just like me, you're more in the realm of both, but you're definitely more PC side. Like what do you think?
Uh, narrow the question. What do I think?
Sorry. So like Do you think it's definitely like, obviously, like, I guess the populace is still more console, but do you think PC gaming is growing exponentially compared to where it was 10 years ago in
Oh,
2016?
yeah, it's definitely exploded. Uh, I don't know what to add to that. I remember people being like, gaming is this, and PCs or just for work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like to see a whole bunch of people playing PC now. It's good, but I don't know. I don't really care either way about
Yeah,
it.
that's also fair. And I think you're gonna run into that more when you have people who, I always told, so I've always been this type of gamer of like, I have my Nintendo products for Mario and Zelda. Like, those are my Nintendo products that I will consistently play. That's why I buy Nintendo systems. Um,
I will always buy a Nintendo system.
yeah.
Yeah.
The entire reason that I bought an Xbox was because that's where I played my multiplayer online games. I played all my shooters. Uh, and then I would buy PlayStation for my single player, like, story driven games, or just any open world game. I really like, especially during the PlayStation 4 era is when I really started, like, it's gonna sound terrible, but where I would segregate like how I was playing games. Of like, this is why I bought this system, is so I can play Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4. I could play Jack and Daxter. I could play God of War. That is what my PlayStation is for, especially once Spider Man came out. And then Nintendo is just Zelda. It's my Zelda box. Um, and then I started playing Xbox all the time for Gears of War and my multiplayer shooters because that's where a lot of my friends were. And then Xbox did the crazy thing where they put Xbox games on the PC. And I knew PCs could be better, perform better, and look better. And I started building PC, and I just never looked back.
It also gave me an excuse to never buy another Xbox,
Yeah.
just because like
And,
why they're not offering anything. But if Xbox brought back the 360 blades, I might consider
ooh,
in
okay.
one with the UI. That is nostalgic
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, absolutely. Uh,
Yep.
so this is also like talking about the industry and stuff, and kind of moving forward with it before we start really wrapping up here. I would really like to talk about Valve and kind of what we were talking about earlier, Matt, with the price increases for the Steam Deck. Um, let me see if I can find these and pull these up really quick so we can actually get numbers.
Speaking of Valve, a lot of entry people that want to get into the PC could just get a Steam box that coming
The
out.
Steam machine.
Yeah, the Steam machine. I forgot about that because that is something that, as a console guy, is going to take consoles to a different platform.
Right.
You know.
And that would also maybe sway Xbox to, or even Valve, just to not collaborate because they have their own competition now with like a console. Uh, so who knows where that's going to go? They could have like a cross store, but I don't see
Yeah,
Xbox. It feels like Xbox wants to do more exclusives, like Sony's doing now.
yeah. It seems like they're
Um,
backtracking,
so like
which,
we might even see less Microsoft games on Steam in the future.
yeah, I'm honestly thinking that too. Like, I think, especially since Xbox has their own launcher on PC, and they're very much about that. Like, hey, our games are on PC. You have PC Game Pass. Just play it there. Um, but I did find these numbers very specifically for the Steam Deck OLED. It's the only one I could find, but I know there is an increase for the regular models as well. but the 512 gigabyte OLED model for the Steam Deck went from
Log out
549
real quick. Wait, he's got this. I'll be right back.
went from 549 to 789, which is a 44% increase in price, and the 1 terabyte went from 649 to 949, which is a 46. It was a 44 increase for the 512, and it's a 46 percentage increase for the 1 terabyte. That's insane.
I should have picked one up a
Yeah,
while back.
that's
I,
my
I,
exact thinking too,
I just can't.
because like not only Steam Decks, but the Nintendo also just announced that the Switch 2 is also going up in price by $100. Um, and
How
I
long ago?
know, like, because I've been waiting so long to hear it, I was talking, uh, I think to you about it, about whether I should just wait for the Steam machine to get out to buy one for Amanda, or if I should um, just build a smaller, decent PC to throw in the living room so we could play PC games on the big TV
Yeah,
for her.
I don't know. It just feels like pre-builts are always going to be like super more expensive than just building your own. You can probably just even get some hand-me-downs of things and not worry about
Yeah, because
super fidelity. Like your TV in your living room, like what resolution is it
it's a
really?
4K, but it's only stuck at 60. So like I could honestly just throw something down to a 1440p and just let it run that way. It's not really gonna bother me. It definitely won't bother her as long as it runs smooth and it's not jumping around. She'll be
Yeah,
fine.
as long as it's 16 above.
Yeah, and that's kind of like I was waiting for the Steam machine because I thought that would be a great place to just plug in, play, let her, jump in with us that way, and she has a controller that we can work with. But now that we're here, with this price increase for the Steam Deck, uh, for just the 1 terabyte model going from 649 to 949, that $300 price increase is really um making me think that if that 1 terabyte, because I mean I don't see a point of getting 512 terabytes for a Steam machine unless we get very small games and
Yeah,
just
you're
play.
gonna fill up that pretty fast. Like
Yeah,
even a terabyte is kind of
it's kind of small.
small nowadays. Yeah.
So,
So
and I can't, like, just thinking about where everything is pricing and thinking about it's a 46% increase for the terabyte. I'm almost guaranteeing that the Steam Machine 1 terabyte is going to probably be 12 or $1,300. And if I'm going to spend that for not bad quality stuff, but I know I could make better decisions in running power for
yeah,
us there. Like,
it is nice just to have like a little box you can just move around.
yeah, and that's also where like she I
Sorry about
because
that,
I
gang.
no, it's okay. I was explaining so it's a 46% increase in price for the Steam OLED 1 terabyte. So it's from 649 to 949. It's a $300 increase.
That's
Uh
still not bad for a Steam-based
that's a
console.
huge increase though. That's almost a 50% increase in price.
Yeah, but look, okay, all right. You want my official opinion just before you start going any further on as a console guy?
I mean, you can.
I'm going to whether you want it or not.
That's
So
fair.
just throwing that out there. So yeah, 950 bucks.
For a 1
PS5.
terabyte
Okay.
Steam Deck.
Here. It's probably going to take a Seagate card for expansion, probably. But anyway, regardless, just based on the Steam store itself and the access you get to the games.
If they're Steam Deck verified.
What do you mean?
Not Steam Machine. We're talking about the Steam Deck, the handheld Steam
Oh
Deck.
shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! My bad. Never mind. Too bad. Never mind. I'm out. Okay. Console guy's opinion. I hate the handhelds.
That's fair.
I'm out.
Oh,
You
So,
want me to do?
so
You want
it's
me to do the
actually really
thing? You want me to
funny.
do the thing?
Yeah, you could do the thing now.
Yeah. Get out of here.
It didn't work as well as the
It
last
didn't
one.
work. Oh.
But no. So like, it's a $300 increase for the handheld Steam Deck. And I recently learned this. I didn't know this actually, but you can hook it up to your TV and like play games
Oh.
that way, which is really nice. But
Yeah, it's got an HDMI out.
yeah, I didn't know that. But that also makes me like knowing. So where we took the conversation, Matt, is it's now wondering if they're willing to do, because of the Ramageddon and everything going on. That's a 46% increase for just a single terabyte version. It's a 44% increase for the 512 gigabyte Steam Deck. So when it comes to the Steam machine, I can't envision them doing anything less than like $1,200. And like I was telling Colin, like knowing the specs of the Steam machine and what they have, I have full faith that like I could just do a better, put something together and do better performance or match the same performance for cheaper than what they're doing for the Steam machine if it is $1,200. Because
Again, all right. Do we know? Being the console guy of the group, do we know what the Steam machine is going to be? Is it going to be completely Steam compatible with like every game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's majority. Yeah.
All right. So being the console guy, this goes back to what I was saying about buying versus console versus PC, right? My dog's yelling at me.
I heard.
Yeah. They are hungry, so but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not a PC builder. You two can build a PC all day long. I honestly probably could not walk to the Micro Center and put together a PC that would run I could probably do it for 1080p, but nothing 1440, and run decently for $1,200 and do it myself. You're not gonna buy a pre-built for $1,200 that can run what you want it to run through Steam. So, me being that guy, I still probably would pay that.
So to add to that, because I don't think you give yourself enough credit, and I think this is also where Xbox and PlayStation do their sorcery of nothing you really play on a PS5, PS5 Pro, or even an Xbox Series X, as much as they love to say, hey, it's 4K, it's running native at 4K, it's really not. You know, and I know a lot of people are going to be butthurt and hear that and be like, well, you either understand it or you're like, no, it says it's running at 4K, but it's actually just running upscale, which is fine. It looks great. Like there's nothing against that. I love everybody for that. I want to look down. Everyone's looking down.
Sorry, I was texting.
I
I'm trying not to commit to work right now, but it's okay. That's why I'm sending a text.
But so like that's what I'm saying is like I think if I told you you could go build a PC around the 3080, that's $450, and that be your starting base, I guarantee you I could send you into Micro Center and you tell them I'm looking to build a 3080 1440p mid tower, and
All right. Okay.
you can do
All
it.
right. Wait. Pump the brakes on this.
Pumping.
because we discussed this.
Pump
before.
it up.
No. Pump it here.
Pump it up.
Let's talk because we agreed that this was the average gamer, not the average dad gamer, right?
But I'm talking about you specifically.
Fair enough. Regardless, take your 25-year-old. Let's say you're 25-year-old girl that wants to get into gaming. Been a console gamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Muses, Dead by Daylight, Fortnite, COD, that type of lineup, right?
I think it's going to be a lot easier no matter where you start to stay in that start. Like, especially if it's something you know. Like, if you start with PlayStation, I think it's going to be easier for you to start and stay with PlayStation throughout. Like,
I don't mean that. I just mean PC versus console and the Steam Deck or not the Steam Deck, the Steam machine justifying it being $1,200. Because
I don't. That's what, like, I don't think the average gamer is gonna buy it. Like, I think it's the same way the Steam Deck is. Hello. Oh, that's your doggy.
That's Piper, yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be more of people like Colin, people like me, people like you. Like, the entire reason I want to buy a Steam machine is so that Amanda can play it and I don't have to buy Xbox Live or PlayStation, whatever their thing is called, the online service. Like, it's so I don't have to pay for that anymore. Because
but okay, all right, I hear you. But is that not justifying kind of what I was getting at? Why not just go buy Amanda a $1,500 PC?
because she won't use it.
Yeah, so much stuff that she probably won't use.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's your market.
But see, that's also like, it's hard to convince people to spend $500 on a Switch. Well, you got to remember, like, it's different for us because we are invested into the ecosystem. When you have a mom who doesn't know a lot about the ecosystem and wants to get little Billy a console, first of all, what's the cheapest thing that she's going to be able to buy? It's going to be a Switch. And the Switch 2, which is going to slowly just outpace the Switch, also just went up $100. So it's no longer little Billy's able to play the newest, funnest games on his Switch. You now have to buy a Switch 2 that is now $600 base. So at that point, you're now competing with the base PlayStation 5, the base Series X, and a Nintendo Switch 2, which I hate to tell everybody, is also a really good competitor in graphics and the way it's able to run games, compared to what the Switch 1 was originally doing. It's a lot better. It runs Pragmata. Dad Simulator. It runs it really well. Surprisingly well. It runs.
Is it actually running like on it, or is it like a cloud?
No, it's running on it the same way RE9 runs really well on it. The hair's not like as crisp as you would want on PC, but it still looks really good. Like, they've gotten the Switch 2 to be like an actual competitor, which I think is super important because now that opens the domain of, okay, well, now I have access to decent third-party titles and I still get my Mario and Zelda. Why am I going to go buy, especially if I'm like a parent, I know nothing about games. I know Mario and Donkey Kong. And those are on the Switch. Oh, you can also play these games. My friend tells me they look good. I'm just going to buy a Switch 2 instead of buying an Xbox or a PlayStation or even a PC. Like, I would buy the Steam machine because I know the value in getting that for Amanda, but I can also completely see the value in just keeping my Xbox for Amanda and letting her play games on that too. it would just be way more convenient to get her on a Steam machine, so I don't have to go through the process of building a whole nother PC just for the living room. I can just play it, and it works. Like,
See that, and I think that's going to be a big thing. I think that's going to be their niche market anyway.
I think it is. Like, I think that's going to be the stepping stone that you need to get people into PC gaming. But I think it's going to be a much smaller margin than we originally thought, thinking that that thing was going to be 700-800 bucks. As if it was 800 bucks for the terabyte, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just be like, that's value sold. Like, it's going to be a decent chunk of change, but I'm okay with that because not only will Amanda use it, I'll use it. Riley will use it. We can multiplayer it, play games on it. Like, I could think of several different use cases, but I can't think of little Susie buying little Tommy a Steam machine for $1,200 when
No,
you can go
well,
buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for half the price.
I do agree with you, and that's not going to be your market. I think another market too, and again, we've got a segment we'll dabble down in on this is the VR world. The Steam machine has a place there, has a market there that is going to be superbly strong.
Yeah, I will say I think I don't know if it'll flourish, but I definitely think it'll have a better a
There you go.
but like I think it will have a better market versus like the PlayStation VR or even granted, like I know you can do the Quest with your PC, but I think having its own VR thing that is just automatically working is going to be a lot better for it. And people are more willing to buy that as a compatible like
Oh, it's much
add-on
better.
because there's just more VR games on PC in general, you know. God, I need a haircut.
I got mine done today.
I know. Good job. But yeah, I'm curious to see what else comes forth, and we're almost at 2 hours, and I got to feed my puppies and let them out. But
Mine are getting the same way. They're going to start gnawing on my leg here in a minute.
yeah. But is there anything you guys want to close off with before we head up out of here?
We deep dove into a lot of non-intro stuff.
Yeah. Well,
With
like we said, it's the first one. We're gonna pick our way through it. We'll make it better. It'll probably be shorter, cleaner next time, and it'll just get better and better.
definitely, we'll definitely have some more locked-in topics and stay there. Um, I think it's good, man. I think hopefully we can push and dive into this average gamer world because right now, especially me being the oldest of the group, it's not uncommon. Like I'm friends with a lot of guys, a lot of dads, a lot of moms, a lot of friends that are really pushing into the gaming world that have been here, but now that are diving into streaming, that are diving into content creation, um, and creators. I mean, like I'm one of those guys. I've been streaming since the first of the year, and that's something. Put that down as a bullet point for a topic one day is streaming in current times. Um, well, I'll put some stuff in the page about that because I could go on about that for days.
Fair enough.
And that is my brain kind of my squirrel quit running for a second.
Just no
it,
more.
it did. It just stopped for a hot second. Being the oldest in the group and content creation, streaming, yeah. Gaming is bigger now than it ever has been, or it's bigger now publicly than it ever has been, and way more widely accepted into kind of like you were touching on earlier. It's not like it's a frowned upon thing anymore.
Right. It's not
The
a
generation
oh,
above
weird.
me is still kind of like video games, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
but I mean, we'll dive in on that, like in ways of cycle development, reaction time, stuff like that. What video games can actually do in positive ways, um, and just content creation. I know it's helped my son tremendously with his his anxiety, his not wanting to be open and talk to people as much as like he used to be. I know I've seen that development, and it's fantastic, especially in like the VR world. It's awesome. So in that, I kind of went off on a tangent. My scroll picked back up speed there. I think getting in on this average gamer tabloid is going to be good, and I'm excited for it and happy to be here. Um, I think we could do some really, really, really cool things here. Hopefully, we touch some people in the right kind of ways.
That's my no square.
I will touch you there.
Colin, what about you? Do you have any closing thoughts? Any I don't know, plans for what you want to see us do in the future, or you're just like, I'm out. I'm never doing this again.
No, this was fun. I like the just gabbing about gaming.
Same.
Yeah, I don't know what to add at the moment.
That's fair. But I mean, yeah, like he said.
Actually, you know what, Colin? I know what you can. Yeah, I know what you can exit on. Is your hair look mighty nice today?
My hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a compliment last night during D&D that my hair was good. I think it's really greasy.
Oh, that's something we could talk into is on a future segment. I would love to talk about D&D and like its existence in the video game world. And
yeah,
like,
that would be a great topic.
yeah.
I think it would be.
I think so. Matt, to my knowledge, has never played D&D. I think we should get him. It's I think he would be like addicted if we got him in on the right like path.
Don't think so. All right, like SF. Yeah, I mean, Max, you know who SF is.
Yeah.
Keeps trying to get me to play Slay the Spire.
No, I mean
That's
like
different.
real deal D&D.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just not my.
It wasn't my cup of tea. I tried it. It's not my cup of tea. It's my top.
I just peed in that cup, just to let you know.
It's a beer mug, so I don't know what. It all looks the same. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Max, you should just go get the starter set, and you can DM and run a little mini campaign.
I'll be sure to kill him at every second that I can.
Oh.
I don't think I could run another campaign. It's like I'm tired, so if we did that,
but yeah, honestly, I just thank you guys for coming to hang out. And like I said, it's the first one. It's gonna be choppy. It's gonna be a little crazy. It's gonna be kind of all over the place. We'll get better as time goes on. But thank you all for coming to watch, hang out. If y'all want to catch up with Matt and his streaming for his ARC duties, Matt, where can they catch you at?
All three. I'm on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, MC Quail 85. Search that up, you'll find me somewhere.
Hell yeah. And I know Colin doesn't stream. I don't have time to stream like I did. This is probably going to be a majority of what I do now. But please, if you liked or really just want to keep up with this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Follow us on Twitch.
Ring that bell.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
And we'll definitely have more content. Our goal is to at least get an episode out a week. If it starts picking up, we'll try and figure it out if we can do more than once a week. But for right now, we're going to just rock it out once a week. We're going to do what's happening in the video game news of the week, what we've been playing. If there's anything new, we're going to start talking about newer games coming out. Like hopefully Matt will spend some time playing 007, the new one, and be able to come talk to us about
Literally watching my friend on his stream right now, just trying to not get any spoilers, but just trying to see what it's about. And,
it's from what I've heard, it's a lot like the Hitman games.
not diving in any spoilers, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. But you know what? You should go buy that and come back to us next week after you play it. Go play it on stream. Come back and talk to us about it.
You know what? I think I might do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna do it tonight, but I mean we've already run. I mean it's already 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time for those wondering. Yes, we're on the East Coast. I will probably do that next. Yeah, I'll do that next Friday, so it's fresh for our next episode, and
Yeah.
that'll give me Saturday to get some clips and stuff like that we can show as well. But tonight, I will honestly, depending on who's playing what, I will probably stream Pragmata. I have been
heard.
itching to do Dad Simulator 2026, and I have waited till everyone else was busy or I wasn't dog tired. I smashed a monster as soon as I left work, so I've got some energy. I got some shit, so I'm probably gonna play Dad Simulator.
Heard. Colin, how do you feel about next week coming back and talking more about Resident Evil Outbreak with me?
I would love to. I'm gonna be on vacation next week.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's okay. Where you go?
You know what you should do though? You know what you should do? And counter to that is find a cool mobile game that you can play on your cellular device. Because that, I
Okay.
mean, hey, that's another outlet.
I'm gonna get Amanda to do that. I'm gonna start giving her mobile
No,
games to
no,
try
that
out.
doesn't count unless
It
she's a
counts.
guest on the show. That doesn't count.
That's my point. Make her a guest on
Oh.
the show.
I guess we'll talk mobile games next time. too.
Yeah, that'll be that's
Yeah, I'm all about Angry Birds, man. All right, guys.
Fortnite mobile.
Well, until next time, it's been fun. We will have a great next adventure. Until next time, see ya.
See you.